Hey guys, welcome to L&D Home. In today's video, we are going to be making 5 adorable Valentine's DIYs that can transition into spring. And we are going to be using mostly Dollar Tree products. Let's do this. First DIY is going to be super easy peasy. I got this steak decor sign from Dollar Tree. Only thing I'm going to be changing besides writing on it is just cutting this hanger off because I am going to be putting it in a potted plant. If you know me, you know my potted plants are faux. They are not real, but you could use this in a real potted plant as well. I'm first starting with a pencil because I hate my handwriting and I don't trust myself with a marker to start. So I am just going to write "Love grows here" on this sign. And I'm starting with pencil so that I can go over and trace it with a metallic pen afterwards. I just want to make sure I get my placement all together. Everything is as even as it can possibly be, and my handwriting isn't too terrible. And if it is, then I can just go ahead and erase it. I'm now going to go in with a metallic pen. I really like this one because it's kind of like a bronze gold. It's not super bright, but it does add a little bit of a sparkle. So I love using this pen when I am deciding to write and not use my Cricut. After I was done with the words, I did decide to add a little bit of chunk to a few of the letters just to make them stand out a little bit. And then I'm going to be adding some greenery all around as well. You can write anything you like on this sign, but I really liked this quote because it goes perfect for Valentine's Day. And it doesn't have to be pink and red, which is not my vibe. If it's yours, feel free to make your Valentine's decor pink and red, but I like something more neutral. So I can have this up for some Valentine's decor, but it also transitions really beautifully into the spring season when flowers are blooming and everything is just looking really beautiful. I am not an artiste, so please don't make fun of the little branches and the greenery that I decided to add. If I were to do this again, I would make them a little bit smaller. I did run them into the letters a little bit on purpose, but in the final product, I wish I would have made them a little bit smaller. I do think that my choice of greenery overtakes things a bit. I also might use a different color metallic pen. I just did not have one on hand. That one you see snuck off to the side there would not show up. So this was the only one that I had, but I think using 2 different colors, maybe a white or something different, would enhance this sign a little bit more. But all in all, I absolutely love it. And it's Valentine's decor that can also transition into the spring season. And it's not super overwhelming if you like a neutral vibe like we do. Tell us in the comments, what do you think of the first one? This next one is also easy. I love a good easy DIY. This is actually a little piggy bank that I found from Dollar Tree as well, and the back actually pops off super easy. I wanted to get that wording off. It says to travel. It's like a travel fund piggy bank, but I'm just going to set the back to the side and then I'm going to work on that wording. I decided to take a paper towel and soak it in some rubbing alcohol and just let it sit for a while so it could kind of get under that lettering a little bit. So it was going to be easier for me to scrape off later. I also know that you can use nail polish remover. I just happen to have rubbing alcohol more handy underneath my kitchen sink as I was crafting. I did try to pull this paper up, and I was excited at first because it was not stuck on evenly. You know, Dollar Tree, they don't always put things on in the most even of positions, but it actually proved to be harder to pull off than I thought. So I pulled off as much as I could, but I couldn't get it all off, which is fine because I am going to be covering it with some paper anyway. The paper I'm going to be using is actually like a sticky wallpaper that I got from Dollar Tree a while ago. They do still have it. I was just there the other day and saw it. And I just really love this pattern. It goes with kind of our neutral modern farmhouse vibe that we have in our home. I just went ahead and traced that and then started applying it down. When I apply it, I like to pull the paper back a little bit, cut a tiny bit of that backing off so that I can kind of add it slowly and get it a little bit more even. I also like to use a small scraper that I also picked up from Dollar Tree when I use materials like this. One trick that I also used around those little notches that hold the back into the front part was I took a little X-Acto knife, which is also from Dollar Tree. I love a good Dollar Tree product. And I just cut slits on the side so that then I could kind of tuck it around those little notches so that the back went back on the piece nice and securely and I didn't have that paper in the way. This was super easy. It only took me a few minutes to get this entire thing down, and I just used my scraper to smooth everything out to make sure I had a really beautiful background on this piece. If you are magic and you can get the backing all the way off, you can also paint this as well if you don't have this sticky paper from Dollar Tree, but I am not magic and I could barely get that off. After I took that soaked paper towel off, I did use a metal scraper, and be very careful with this because you are scraping on the glass. You don't want to scratch the glass, but I did try a plastic scraper and it was just not strong enough to get this wording off. It's pretty adhered on there. It's not like a Cricut vinyl. It's something different. So it is a little bit tricky to get off, but if you have a metal scraping tool and you just go in really gently, it does come off pretty easily. You just have to have some patience and make sure that you are not scratching your glass too much. Since I used rubbing alcohol, it was absolutely perfect because it also helped me clean the glass as well. So after I got all that debris up, I then took another piece of paper towel and I could get my glass all sparkling clean so that you could see these beautiful roses that I'm going to use. I bought 2 packs of these from Dollar Tree and I only ended up using 1 pack. I just dumped them in there and I did kind of position them where you could see like the actual beautiful part of the rose, the front, the top of the rose a little bit, but it is going to move around inside. So I wouldn't worry about this too much. And then you just pop the back right on. It snaps in very easily and very securely. And here we have this final project. This is so easy, so cute, and you can do any colors, any patterns, or any filler that you like. But you know we like a neutral vibe here. And I love the roses for a touch for Valentine's Day, but I also love that it easily transitions into the spring season as well because there are flowers inside. This next one is probably the easiest one of the whole bunch. I love that they have these at Dollar Tree. They have a ton of different shapes and colors. I saw circle ones. I saw ones that were black. They're so cute. And if your local Dollar Tree has them, I suggest you pick up a few, and you don't even really need to DIY them. But I decided again to use my pencil to draw a heart because, like I said, I don't trust myself. And it's a good thing I did because I did mess up. I used that same metallic marker because it showed up really well on this as well. And it kind of matched what I did on the other project. I just traced my heart and then I made it a little bit chunkier so that it stood out a little bit more. And I decided not to connect the top of my heart. I wanted something a little bit different. Once I had done that, I did use that other marker just for a little difference of color. The color is really similar, so I probably could have just used this one. But I did go around and just add some embellishments, to the outside, just some dots lined up just to give it a little bit of something extra special. And you're going to see this turns out so cute. You can use it on a tiered tray or any place at all. And it can transition into the springtime if you would like it to, but it's definitely more of a Valentine's piece in my opinion because it has a heart on it. But if you wanted to transition it, you could always flip this bad boy over, paint the back, and do something else so you actually have a double-sided piece. So easy. It took me barely a few minutes. What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments below. This one is probably the most difficult DIY of this video, but it still was not too hard. The worst part was really prying this off. This is obviously a Valentine's decor piece that I picked up from Dollar Tree. I used my metal scraper again, very carefully. You're going to have to put some force behind this, and you do want to be careful because you don't want to rip that top piece because we're going to be painting this and then putting everything back together. I was able to get it off without any damage to the top piece, and then I just took this paper heart. It was literally just like computer paper they had printed on and used double-sided tape to put on. So I just went ahead and ripped that off. Originally, I thought about using some more of that sticky wallpaper from Dollar Tree, but I decided to go ahead and paint it because I wanted it to be more of a wood look, but actually kind of look wood and not just have paper on it. I did have to do about 2 coats of this. I used my dryer in between, my heat gun in between, but I didn't show all that on camera because, well, that would be redundant. And you don't want to see me paint and then heat dry and then paint and then heat dry. But just know I did do 2 coats, heat drying in between. I wasn't super worried about the very inside of it because, well, you're not going to see that part when we're done with it anyway. I have these Jenga blocks that are actually like Amazon Jenga blocks. I will link them in the description box down below. I have used them on another project, one of my Christmas projects. I absolutely love them, and I have a ton left over. So I decided to use some super glue from Dollar Tree to connect these so that I have a little bit of space inside to put some florals. If you're not using hot glue, you do want to put something heavy on top until your super glue sets. I didn't want to use hot glue because sometimes it can be kind of bumpy and chunky, and I really just like using this super glue. Once that dried, I went ahead and added some super glue to the top of those blocks, and I realized that one on the side there, I probably should have put it out or down a little bit more because it was sticking out some, but you're not really going to be able to see that in the final product because we are going to be using this as a little floral arrangement. Again, after your super glue dries, you do want to paint the edges. I started by painting the bottom. Well, it's going to be sitting up, so you don't really need to paint the bottom because you're not going to see it. What you do need to do is get those sides really, really well and into the top, and just do any touch-ups that you might have missed on your first or second coat. That's the important part. Don't even waste paint on the bottom at all, like I did. The paint did not go on this as smoothly as I would have liked, so I decided to do a little bit of dry brushing with a beige color. I didn't want anything too stark like a white dry brushing. I wanted it to kind of look a little bit like wood, and since the paint ended up being so textured because it was having trouble sticking to the paper that was originally on this little Valentine's envelope, I decided to do that dry brushing just to help bring out that texture, but in a more intentional way. I didn't go too crazy here, but I just kind of wanted to blend things in a little bit and make it look less like I painted it with brown paint and more like it was supposed to be that way. I then took some floral pieces that I already had on hand. I didn't buy any of this. This boxwood is actually from Walmart. It was just a leftover piece that I had, and then a bunch of florals that were just in my stash. Dollar Tree does have some beautiful florals, though, if you don't have any on hand. And I decided not to glue any of this in because I wanted to be able to take it out and change it if I wanted to. And here is the final product. This is so cute. You could add a hanger to the back if you like. And I know you're like, it's not Valentine's Day. The roses for me make it Valentine's Day. And again, it transitions into the spring. Our last project in this video is also super easy and uses a lot of Dollar Tree products. I love these signs from Dollar Tree. I love them so much because they already have like the plank indentation. You don't have to like use a Sharpie to draw the lines. It actually looks like pieces of shiplap or wood that have been put together. I'm also using these poster stickers from Dollar Tree. I have a few tricks with this. Make sure that you get more than one pack because you know they only give you like one N, and most words have more than one N in them, especially if you're spelling Be My Valentine. Also, be very careful when you take the stickers off of the pack. I did rip one of my E's a little bit. You can't really tell in the final product, but just be careful with these stickers and make sure you buy at least 2 packs, if not more. I couldn't get my positioning right. I was going for a certain vibe. I finally decided that this is the way that I wanted it, but I didn't like that space in the middle. So I took some of that Dollar Tree sticky wallpaper and cut a piece that was about the size of the letters, and then decided that I was going to make a little heart to put right in the middle. You could definitely write a full quote on this. You could use colored poster stickers if you want. Sky is the limit, but a neutral vibe for us. And I thought it was really cute that it said Be My Valentine because it was more specifically Valentine's decor. And I love that all you have to do is stick the letters on there. One other tip I will give you is to make sure they're stuck down really good. So I took some parchment paper so I didn't gouge any of my letters, and I went over them really firmly with my scraper. I don't want any of these letters peeling up because they were starting to peel up a little bit on me, but you just have to make sure they're really good and stuck down. I found this adorable heart lace ribbon at Dollar Tree. I thought this was so cute. And yes, I know I'm using the super glue again. This is definitely easier with hot glue. I just hadn't heated up my hot glue gun and I didn't feel like waiting, to be quite honest. So I went ahead and used super glue, that parchment paper, to push it down so it didn't get stuck to my fingers or the table or anything else. And I did end up wrapping this around twice because I wanted to cover the holes on the front side. And this was the easiest way to do it. And it is so cute. You could also put a hanger on the back of this sign, but I just leaned it up against on top of our organ, and I think it is absolutely perfect. While this doesn't really transition well into the spring, it's a very cute Valentine's sign. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope you found it helpful or at least entertaining. Make sure that you check out the video and the playlist on the screen. And as always, smash that subscribe button so you can become part of our YouTube family. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks again for watching. Bye.